Hello, everybody. I am Ron Bumblefoot Thor, and you are listening to the Become a Guitarist Today podcast with Adam Roach.
And don't forget my sponsor, Tune Chaser. So Steve Rosen, the author of this great book here and the audiobook. So make sure you check out the audiobook on Soundwise and have a look at the hard copy. It's an amazing documentary story about Steve's time with Eddie Van Halen. So enjoy the podcast, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, so you're at the studio, are you?
Yes, we're in a rehearsal studio. Just packed up all our gear. We just finished up and heading to Asheville,
Oh, cool.
and our first show tomorrow. Yeah.
Ah, excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really good. And congratulations with the album coming out in only like a few days' time. The surface seems so far.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. We finished recording as far back as January, and then released Judas Mine, the first single this summer. And it's soon. The release date will be here. It'll be finally out, and I'm so excited that for everyone to hear the entire album.
Yeah, well, I had a listen last night, and I must say it's fantastic. It's a great album.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, John sent me over a copy, and I started writing down like some of the notes. I like to do that as I listen to it. So I started off with Judas Mine, and great song. Beneath the Veil, great harmonies, great song. Just every song was really good. So, but overall,
thank you.
Yeah, I just love the feel of this album, and the vocal harmonies, and it's probably a bit more heavy. Would you say?
Yes, right. I mean, I think that's something Seether's always sort of, had in their music. I think there's definitely a heaviness to it, an edge to it, but we also like melody, and it can be very melodic, and the lyrics can be vulnerable at times. I mean, I think it's something that Seether's always been about, and I'm very proud of this album. I think we we know what Seether does well. We know what our strengths are. We play to those strengths, and I think this album shows that.
Yeah, it actually reminded me a little bit of, I'm not the same, but just in the same veins of some of my favorite bands. I really love like King's X, Galactic Cowboys, that heaviness, but with the harmonies as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man, I love King's X.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's awesome. I mean, Dogman's like one of my favorite all-time albums, and yeah, I love that band. Love that band.
Yeah, well, actually, was it 1994? I went to the States, and my brother and I went and saw the tour of Dogman of King's X in Hollywood somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Really
wow.
cool.
Yeah, I didn't get to see them on that tour. I love that album.
Yeah, it was really good.
Well, yeah, we worked with Brendan O'Brien, who produced that album.
Oh, yeah.
And he's worked with, Stone Temple Pilots, Bruce Springsteen, Pearl Jam, just all these amazing bands. And when I met him for the first time, I'm like, my favorite thing you ever did, it was Dogman. And he was sort of surprised. He's like, really? I go, I love that album. I know it wasn't his, the biggest album for Brendan, but I think it's an amazing album, sort of a lost gem.
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, as soon as you hear that opening, you go, give me a dog.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah.
I actually had Doug was on the podcast back in like 2017, a long time ago.
Hi, I'm Doug Pinnick from King's X, and you're listening to Become a Guitarist Today with Adam Roach. Come on and join us, and may the groove be with you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I'm friends with Jerry, and it was such an honor. They wrote a book. They put a book together a few years back, and he talked about coming to see us in New Jersey at the Stone Pony, and he talked about watching me play. And anyway, it was very kind words, and just an honor that he even remembered me and thought to even say something positive, and it really meant a lot. I really look up to Jerry, and I love King's X, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, well, definitely that come across. So for me anyway.
Yeah.
So it was really good. So going back to the song Judas Mine, that's the one that really stood out with the harmonies, and it's just a great song. And also the film clip, very interesting film clip for that one, with all the things going on.
Yeah, for the Stranger Things fan, it's like sort of the upside down going on. It looked like not quite snow, but you know, uh, but making a video, you're kind of given the storyboard, and the director tells you how it's going to be, and in some cases, it can be honestly a bit of a letdown when you finally see it. But in this case, I think the video is really good, and I think it captures the energy of the band, and I think it looks really great. And for me, I even heard the song a little differently
Mm.
when I saw the video. Something about it, just the energy it came across, and Sean's like, those screams in the bridge, and you know,
Yeah.
it's really cool. So I'm proud to how that video turned out. I think it's very cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. And also, I saw you guys doing it live on, was it Sirius FM, XM?
Yes, yeah, we performed it, and that was our first time to perform it live,
Okay.
right? And then we'll be adding it to the set for this tour. So it's always fun to have a new song. And yeah, we did that, in front of a studio audience, and for the first time playing it. So a bit nervous, but it luckily we didn't, no train wrecks, and we did
Yeah,
okay, and we got through it. And yeah, I think that performance turned out well too.
it sounded great. It sounded really good. I mean, Sean's
Thank you.
vocals, I mean, all you guys playing, but yeah, Sean's vocals really come across as, you got those notes. I don't know was that early in the morning, that performance, or late at night?
Yeah, no, that was afternoon,
Okay.
sort of midday. Yeah, midday for us. And yeah, his voice, I'm in a band with the guy, but he's just incredibly talented in his voice. I could probably count on two or three fingers over 21 years of being with this band, the times we've had to cancel, because due to illness or something. I mean, it just never happens. His voice, he never loses his voice.
Wow.
It's just amazing, and he's got such a great voice. And I have to give props to Corey Lowry, our guitar player, and the background vocals that he adds.
Yeah, for
A
sure.
lot of bands use tracks and stuff to supplement those harmonies, and
Yep.
Corey and Sean are doing all of that live in the moment,
Mm.
and I think it sounds really great. And I have to give props to Corey as well, as far as the background vocals and the support to Sean that he
Yeah,
sort of brings to the live thing, to fill it out and make it sound the way it does.
yeah, exactly. And I really love their choice of harmonies too. It's not like your typical, you're here, you're here. It's just, it really goes in well together, their voices.
Right. Yes, they blend really well. Yeah,
Yeah,
their voices really well. And Corey, yeah, super strong voice too. And so, yeah, he supports Sean really, really well.
yeah, that's really good. Now, just again, go through the album. One of the ones that really stood out for me, I'd say probably one of my favorites, was Paint the World. Paint the World, I really loved
Ah,
recording that one. That was really cool.
oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. I mean, I think we've kind of see their strengths, and when Sean sends demos, it's sort of it's not really a drum machine, but it's actual real drum samples. But he kind of puts it together, in the studio. So it gives me an idea of the rhythm he wants,
yep.
the tempo that he wants, and then it's my job to kind of go in and humanize those parts and make it, like with a live drummer, a real drummer. And yeah, there's some songs on this album that are a lot of fun, and maybe we'll play them. There's another one called "Lost Off Control,"
Yeah, yep.
which is a very unique drum pattern, kind of different for
Mm.
us, almost progressive in some ways, and challenging to play. And I love the pattern in that, and I had a lot of fun with that. And that's another, as far as drumming song, that's kind of a fun one to play for me.
Yeah. So we've Paint the World. I noticed in the verses, was that on the two toms, the floor toms you're doing, if you remember?
I'm trying to remember. Gosh, I'd have to hear it to tell you exactly, to be honest. We've been together so long, and we've had, well, we haven't, we took all of 23 off. It's been a long time since we've done a tour. We
Yeah.
did a short one back in May with Stain. But, when we've been away for a while, fans, want to hear those songs they always want to hear, right? Fake It, Remedy, Broken, Fine Again, songs that we've always done. And and we play an hour 10 minutes, and the singles kind of fill it up.
Mm.
And unfortunately, we maybe do one new track, to depending, and in this case it'll be Judas Mine. So to be honest, I've been focusing on Judas Mine, Illusion, so I'd have to hear it. I'm sorry, right now I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I will say also for the drums, a lot of not to get too technical, but a lot of drums recorded now in the genre that we are. The drums are replaced or added to with samples, right? It's not like a natural drum sound in some cases. It's almost a very synthetic sound. And we all grew up on 90s bands. We're fans of music of the 90s, those productions. So I'm proud to say the drums on this album are the natural sounds. Nothing has been, samples have not been added. It was in the moment, the drums as they sounded, EQ'd and all that, of course, but no samples. And the snare, very unique to each track. I think it just kind of has an old school thing about it, and not really happening these days, especially with the bands I would consider our peers. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of the sort of organic raw sound that the new album has, drum wise especially.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah, like I said, a lot of bands do that these days. So to hear that's all that's great.
Yeah, and and I think it lends itself to a kind of a rawness, and an edge, and just kind of lets the songs come through in the moment that they were recorded, right? And not so processed and art, and then when we do it live, I mean, there's no drastic change in sound. I mean, again, we don't play with tracks. It's the four guys up there on stage making those sounds, and what you hear coming off the stage are the four human beings that are playing it, and it lends itself to exactly what we did in the studio. So there's no live, it wasn't quite like it was in the studio. I think we do that really well. And again, I have to props to Corey and the background vocals and Dale and just performing in the moment. And we do it all without tracks, man.
That's great to hear. Love it. That's really good. So yeah, because I noticed in your kit breakdown, I saw one of the videos. So you've only got the one rack tom and the two floor toms, don't you?
That's it. Yeah, I have. I actually use a double pedal, but a double bass drum set. Yeah, one rack, the 14, and two floors, 16 and 18-inch floor toms.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, just sort of very stripped down. I'm a huge. I like a lot of different drummers, but there was a drummer who's still around. He's Tommy Aldridge. He's like one of my favorite all-time drummers. Yeah. And there's a great video of him. I think he's on the Midnight Special with Black Oak, Arkansas, back in the 70s. And he had the double bass with the one rack, center rack. Yeah. And I was really inspired by that setup because I love him. And I was even talking to Brendan O'Brien about it, funny enough, when we recorded with him. And I was debating because I didn't have the double bass setup. And he goes, "Oh, you should bring it back. Do double bass, man. It'd be great. And you can put one rack in the center like Tommy." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to do it." So that's how it came about. I was sort of inspired for sure by Tommy Aldridge.
No, I mean, again, the sound's really good. So whatever you're doing, it works.
Yeah, thank you. And I like the larger toms, the bigger sounds. It just kind of lends itself to our music, I think, really well.
Yeah, for sure. Now I noticed your son play. I've seen a few of your videos where you and your son are playing together. So
yeah.
So has he adapted that same setup, or is it different for him?
He actually has started playing double pedal now, but his setup is the same. It's one rack, and then actually he just does one floor tom.
Oh, okay.
And the video you're talking about was 2 or 3 years back, and he's just a phenomenal drummer. I know he's my son, and everybody brags about their kids, but I'm telling you, my son just does circles around me. He's an amazing drummer, Jackson. So yeah, we have a lot of fun, and he's so inspiring to me, man. When you get home from the road after you've toured forever, sometimes the last thing you want to do is pick up a pair of drumsticks, Yeah. But you hear him practicing, and he's just killing it. And he's so inspiring to make me just want to, okay, so I'll go into there like, what are you doing? Show me what you're doing. Teach me what that's a really cool thing you're doing there. Well, that feel, whatever. Yeah. And it's really inspiring. So he's great to have for sure. He kicks my butt and keeps me going.
That's great. And your other son, is it Jet, your other son?
Yeah. My younger is Jet, and he's a bass player,
bass.
Guitar player. He plays with some drums too. He's just both are musically gifted, and it's funny, man. My wife has been with me for years. We you know, we've known each other since high school, and
Yeah.
she's so supportive, has always been so supportive of me and the family. But we kind of joke like, "Are you ready for this? Here we go again," you know, with the kids. And but there's no denying it, man. They definitely have a talent for music.
Yeah, yeah. Because my oldest daughter, she's 28. We're in a band together as well. So she plays
Oh,
guitar.
that's great.
Yeah,
That's the tough thing about I played with Jed a couple of times, but with Jackson being a drummer, right, I can't play together.
yeah,
But that's awesome to play with your kids.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Sure. So do you guys get together much and like just jam when you spare time?
Oh, oh yeah, absolutely. We have a music room at home, and their bands will rehearse there. And but you know, we'll just get on, you know, the kit and trade off and play stuff. And again, when Jackson's working on stuff, I'll come up there and ask him what he's doing, and vice versa.
Yep.
And I'll ask Jackson, "How's it sounding? You think it's good?" You know. So we definitely talk music and inspire each other and have a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
that's really cool. So has he got a band at the moment, Jackson?
Yes, he's playing with a regional artist in the United States, in the Southwest, and tours a bit. But he's teaching this summer at
Okay.
a school of rock close to
Oh,
where we're at. And actually, Jed is teaching as well,
hmm.
and touring regionally with an artist named Derek Hay. And then so they both kind of play regionally and then teach as well.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, yeah,
That's great. Yeah, I mean that's what I do as well. My main job is a teacher. I teach drums, guitar, piano, and you know,
yeah.
on the holidays I do. I used to do a music program called School of Rock program. So similar type thing,
Oh
I
yeah.
guess. Yeah,
I think that's great, man. I think it
yeah,
takes, and I'm really proud of my kids in that, you know, teaching isn't easy. Just because you can play doesn't
yeah,
make you a great teacher. I think there's definitely an art to connecting with kids, inspiring them,
yeah,
and not just kids, you know, young adults, whatever. And I think there's really an art to teaching. And when Jackson got serious about drumming, I was like, look, we can talk and I'll show you stuff and, you know, this and that. But I have a friend back home who is an amazing drum teacher who primarily was sort of Jackson's official teacher when we weren't like sort of messing around together.
yeah,
Because I think teaching yeah, there's just an art to it, man. Not everybody, you know, can do that. And there's an art to an inspiring a child
yeah,
to, you know, want to practice, want to work on it. You know, granted, there are some kids that are like, oh, my parents are making me do this, man. I don't really want to, you know, but
yeah,
there are some that really, you know, love it, or because they're inspired by their teacher,
yeah.
they love it. They grow to love it even more, you know. So I think, you know, that's great, man. Teaching
Oh, it is.
is very important, very important.
Oh, it's true. I mean, it's great when you see the kids up there. Like I've got a concert this week, and they've got one of the kids. He's doing like you know, was it Man in the Box, Alice in Chains, and Message in
Oh
One Box.
yeah.
So yeah, we're jamming on. I'll be on bass. He'll be on the drums.
Oh
Yeah, it's gonna be
yeah.
really cool. Yeah,
That's great. That's great. And you'd love to see them like when they start to get it and something clicks in their brain and they got it, you know,
yeah,
and they're excited and makes you excited. And
yeah, exactly.
I think that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
great.
for sure. Yeah. So I noticed when you joined the band first, the first one you did was Broken with the Amy Lee, wasn't it? Your the remake, oh not the remake, but the re-recorded version of that, which that was huge
Yeah.
in Australia. Like that was massive. I remember Broken when it first came out with the Amy Lee version. It was played everywhere.
Right. Right. Which was kind of a fluke. Yeah. I had just joined the band. That was at the end of the first, you know, Disclaimer tour. And we were working on music for what was going to become Karma and Effect. In fact, we were in the studio doing demos, and we were asked to do that re-recording for the Punisher soundtrack, and which we did, and then we did a video for it, and the song just took off and just kind of had this massive life of its own internationally, which was amazing. So for the first year I was in Seether, man, we were overseas,
Hmm.
which was great. I had never played outside the United States, and it was awesome to go to Europe for the first time, and to Greece and to Australia and to South Africa and these places that I had never seen. And really, yeah, that song and that recording of the song, you know, really got our foot in the door internationally. And it was very important. But yeah, that was the first sort of official recording that I did with the band.
Wow. Yeah, and like I said, yeah, it went huge. So that's really good timing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And I will say I'm not always the one to like. I'll call a single and like, oh, I know that's going to be big, or you know. But
yeah,
I remember doing the video and watching like some of the video playback and kind of having chills and like there's something special going on. I don't know what it is, but I knew something cool was happening, and it's just the timing and everything kind of fell into place. And yeah, it was just amazing.
yeah. And I saw the video you guys did. I think it was 2011 with Lizzie Hale jumped up and did it with you guys as well.
Yeah,
That was really
yeah,
cool.
she's done it a couple of times. We'll play festivals with them, and she has jumped up and yeah, and it's been a while since we've done sort of that epic version, and we do it in the show now. It's just stripped down, kind of like it was on Disclaimer,
Hmm.
where it's just Dale and Sean,
Okay.
which the song can be very powerful that way too, which is kind of what's special about that song. But yeah, yeah, she's done it with us a couple of times. Yeah,
Yeah. Now, have you guys done many shows with Mammoth WVH?
we've played a couple of festivals, but we haven't done like a proper tour together. Um, and I've met Wolfie, and I went to I live in Oklahoma in the States, and he came through with Alter Bridge, and I know a couple guys in Alter Bridge, so I went to that show and got to meet him, and I love the two albums he's done. I'm definitely a fan. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because when I listened to this album, it gave me a little bit of the vibes of the Mammoth stuff he does. I thought you guys would work really
Oh
well
yeah.
together. That'd be a great tour, I reckon. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that would be a great fit.
yeah,
To me, yeah, I really like the stuff he's doing, and I don't know if he's a Seether fan or not. I guess it didn't really matter, but I think we would fit really well together for
yeah.
sure.
Well, hopefully that comes down to Australia, Mammoth and you guys.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm down.
let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Now, also, I noticed I saw another interview where you talk about with your brother growing up. So you're like Van Halen fans as well, growing up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that was sort of the one of the gateway bands for me, where it kind of all started. Right? The Roth era, Van Halen, and yeah, I was that was it for me. So yeah, that's kind of like my starting point, my entry point in music was with them.
yeah. Well, I'm a huge Van Halen fan, as you can see the guitars and
Yes, yeah, the yellow and black back there.
yeah, that's it. And actually, I've been helping. Have you heard of Steve Rosen? Have you heard of this book?
No,
Oh, really? So Steve Rosen,
no.
the journalist, like he spent like 26
Right?
years with Van Halen. He wrote a book called Tone Chaser.
Oh wow.
Big book. And I just helped him release an audio book as well. So it's included like a lot of interviews with him and Eddie, back in the day as well.
Right.
Um, yeah, I mean, if you're on the road and you want a copy, let me know. I can send you a copy of the audio book.
Oh yeah, I'd love that. I'd love
Yeah,
that. I'm looking forward to that. Would be great. I'm looking forward. Alex is gonna have a
yeah,
book coming. In October. That was kind of a surprise, right? I didn't think
yeah, no,
anything like that would ever come from Alex. He's sort of so quiet.
yeah,
So I'm kind of excited to get that book as well.
yeah. Oh, that's going to be a great book. I can't wait. Now, I noticed you're also a Kiss fan.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it Peter Chris, or do you have another favorite drummer in the era of Kiss, or who was your favorite?
Yeah, that was another gateway band for me, and Kiss Alive was the first thing I had, and yeah, so Peter Criss being the drummer, loved, and the kind of type of drummer he is stylistically, it was a great sort of entry point for a beginning drummer. Not to take anything away from Peter, he's amazing, but unique feel. But I would memorize those parts and play along to them even before I had a drum set.
Hmm.
But the first time I saw Kiss, Eric Carr was the drummer,
Okay, yeah,
and yeah, and obviously he was a monster live, great drummer. So between the two, I don't know if I have a favorite, but I love Eric Carr too.
yeah. I saw Eric Carr in what do you mean, 1990 in Detroit. Went there with the band.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we're playing there with the band over in Michigan, and yeah, Kiss were going through with Slaughter and Faster Pussycat, so we got to see that
yeah.
lyrics. That's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that tour as well, Hot in the
Okay.
Shade.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
and I saw that. Yeah, yeah. And who'd you say the two bands were that opened?
Slaughter and Faster Pussycat.
It was Slaughter. Was it Winger when I saw them? It
Oh,
wasn't
really?
Faster Pussycat. It was another band.
Ah, right.
It might have been Winger, but yeah, yeah, it was a great tour. And that's when they started playing some of the old stuff, right? They
Yeah, yeah,
opened with I Stole Your Love, which they
that's
hadn't
right.
played in forever.
Yeah.
And that was a fun tour. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that show for sure. I've seen a lot.
I know. That's a good thing over in the States, I guess. You get to see everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I try. It sounds like you travel a lot too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you know, it's been great. You've been able to see shows and
yeah.
and travel to the United States. That's great.
Oh, for sure. I mean, back in the younger days, we used to go all the time. That's
Very
great. So, is
cool.
there any plans you think you guys come down here, or nothing planned yet?
Nothing to Yeah, nothing definitive. But I hope so. Right now it's just this U.S. leg for now, and but I do look forward to the time when we return. Man, I've beautiful country and a lot of great dedicated fans that have stuck with us through all these years, and just very grateful for that and that support. So I look forward to coming back at some point.
Yeah, well, I'm sure everyone's going to love this album. Like I said, I've had a listen, and it's fantastic, and yeah, and just everyone's just going to really enjoy it, and hopefully we'll get to see you guys live maybe next year.
Absolutely, thank you. I appreciate it.
No worries. Well, thank you, John, for your time,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
no problem. And yeah, hopefully see you real soon.
Okay,
All right, thanks very much.
take care.
See
We'll
you
see
later.
you.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.